Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I've entitled this as a public-private partnership, as well as a private-public partnership. I'll explain in more details about what these things mean and the significance of it. You see, in the servicing processing industry, that is when you want to service for purposes of court appearances and so on and so forth, a man or woman, whether they're fictional or non-fictional, if they're in the public, you can create what is known as a public-private partnership. The very fact that they're in the public eye means that they're subject to a public-private partnership. That means any man or woman in his private capacity can hold to account anybody in the public. That includes anybody on YouTube, virtually anybody. What's the significance of that? You see, the court systems are public. The Supreme Court is public. And you as men and women have the ability to service them anytime you want. In other words, you can summons them anytime that you want. That in itself should be a good and wonderful insight as to how powerful the men and women are on this planet. In addition to that, your politicians, your treasury departments are all in the public, which means they are subject to you. Now, men and women that claim human rights have no men and women standing, as it were. Even though there is quite a lot of this type of talk on the internet, they offer no conclusive understanding or reasoning behind it. So I'll explain it to you, and you folks, I'm going to have to grasp this, wrestle with this, because you've got a lot of fiction noise in your head. The fiction noise is about all of these common law societies and so on and so forth that absolutely do not know what they're talking about. And on the rare occasions that they do, they're usually attacked from within and destroyed. So people don't get to the truth, as it were. So let me make it very clear. Any departments, any bureaucrats, any politicians, any lords, any spiritual, any temporal, any judge, any sheriff, deputy, any coroner, anybody, even an office, it's actually in the public. Therefore, they are all subject to scrutiny by you people that want to audit them. The word is audit, whether that be financially, verbally, contract, or anything else. It is your standing to be able to audit them and hold them to account of the things that they have said, the things that they have failed to say, the accountings that they should be giving you as part of the global accounting system, are all yours to audit. You know that. So this Thursday, I'll be holding a training program, which is about 3 days' time, for all of these people that want to understand how this system works. And this is on the addition to what I did for the Canadians and the Americans and the world in order to be able to shut down their corporate de facto governments, as it were. I use the possessive theirs, but it's not theirs. It's actually a defective position. What that simply means is that in the place of any correctness, these individuals and corporations and these so-called corporate governances just simply set themselves on default position and do what they need to do under other private men and women that you don't know anything about until I start to blow the whistle on them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because the men and women on this planet are so quiet, and because the men and women on this planet are not doing any audits of their councils, governments and councils, the court systems, they're gone absolutely bloody berserk, because they are standing under somebody. Have no mistake about that. And those faces and names you are not familiar with. But if you go onto my website, you'll begin to understand how much money these people have in their private capacity as well. Politicians and bureaucrats, the Supreme Court, and so many of the lower and the upper houses and so on and so forth, the legislature, the executive and the judiciary, they're all just actors. You look it up what the word actor means. It means to be the slave of a slave master. They're all acting, giving the general public, the people, the illusion this is how life really is, while there is a parallel world running, which I have already exposed. And on that Thursday's programming, training, I will be teaching people how to be their own service processor. You see, what I have found out is that these men and women that attack you with their suits and ties on, with their uniforms on, with their badges on, that steal your houses, your homes, your cars, that give parking tickets, your governments that will perpetually lie to you and lie to you and lie to you and tell you 1,001 other lies to cover up that lie, like they are doing about the Ukraine war. They're actually using cardboard cutout machine guns and crisis actors to portray in the mass media that this is an actual conflict. That's how profound the lie is. So if that's paralleled with what you are witnessing now, what else have they been paralleling you? I don't think such a word exists, but what other things exist in parallel? Like, for example, how much has the judiciary lied to you as actors, claiming acting immunity, stage appearance? The answer is all of them. I'm the only Chief Federal Postal Court judge that can deal with the facts, as well as the others that are on my website, that able to explain these things to you. Because the trance state that you are in is that you really do believe your government is subjecting you, until you begin to reverse the role in your mind first, then put it onto pen to paper with your creator's seal. And that's, it's as simple as that. So, in order for you to approach me and the Canadians, the Americans, and yes, it's open to everybody that wants to participate, but have no mistake, I detect a psychopath and narcissist, I will come after you with levels of ferocity likes of which you've never understood. And I'll be covering that later on as well. You see, what I have found out, ladies and gentlemen, is that the most lowest level narcissist and psychopath, most lowest, are using the identical tools of lies and manipulation, of gaslighting, and the various other mechanisms that they use, like an alter-casting personality, is identical to the ones that even are your global owners, as it were, the people that run your world, the highest corporations. You see, their psychopathy and their narcissism revolves around the level of intelligence that they're able to bring to it. but their manifestations on their conduct is always the same. Destruction, destruction, destruction. Lies, lies, lies. Manipulation, manipulation, manipulation. And if you allow it, especially in your own personal lives, to let this overtake you, they will now see your lives as forfeit. You understand what I'm saying? They'll see your life as forfeit. Have no mistake, ladies and gentlemen. I have witnessed this in my life. These people have come into my life, not just the legislator, the jurisdiction, the governments, the pharmaceutical, individuals as well. Okay, and I'll be covering that on a page on my website. So, imagine. Let's go on a journey of imagination now, okay? Imagine that you're a xenophobe. A xenophobe is a man or woman that is petrified of other people. They are petrified and constantly petrified that they will get caught out any time as to who and what they are. You see, you can only lie so many times before it catches up to you. You can only steal, rob, cheat, murder, rape until it catches up to you. And they know that. What I also found out is that these characters, these individuals, they have so much of this fear that they will almost go to any lengths to cover up their lies and their criminality, which is another word for how the governments themselves have conducted themselves, how the councils have conducted themselves, how the sheriffs, the police, all of these, the judiciary, the legislature, the executive, all of them, how they conducted themselves. On this planet, there is a geometric level playing field, because on a geometric level playing field, you get to see who the other one is, unless they disable you by lying to you, by getting you not to go into court, coming out of court. The court is yours. It's not the de facto court, which is run by the City of London Bar Association. It's defective because you people are. And I'm not speaking to my YouTube subscribers because you guys already know this stuff. It's the other ones that can't even distinguish between a human, a man, or even an individual, not realizing when you have so many words, they mean totally different things. This is a pen. When you have a different word for a pen without changing the language, when you have many definitions for a pen, for what it does, without changing the language, that word has a totally different meaning from what the word pen means to you. You understand? If they have not changed the language, it means something totally different. What is it that I'm saying? You see, the xenophobe has come up with this multitude of ways of stealing from you, like creating instruments of death called mortgages, by getting you to fight their conflicts, getting you to believe it's a patriotic thing to do. I think you folks already know the number of lies that they tell for you to do their fighting, because they're cowardly as well. And what I found out about these individuals is that they have zero creativity, but multiple ways of lying. You see, when you don't have enough creativity to produce your own sweat equity because you're a liar and a thief, you're going to go looking for people that do have the ability to produce their own sweat equity and commercial energy. And that's the position that the Canadians have woken up to. Sorry about this word, woken up to. I know it's a fashionable word at the moment. And the US, the Americans, are also quite literally woken up to it. and the world, through the media, through their own politicians, which are now under instructions to make themselves look like the absurd fools that they've always been, is what is happening. You see, every single politician, every single judge actually works for a master. I have the ability to break that code and go after them in their private capacity. And we're calling that a public-private capacity. They can't hide under terrorism because terrorism actually means the earth attacking you. They even got you believing terrorism refers to the IRA attacking you or the Muslims attacking you. No, it means you're trying to get you to believe in your subconscious mind that it's the earth itself that is trying to attack you. All right? Democide is that. One of the greatest killers of man is actually democide. Democide means death by a government. So, I will be in a position in the coming months to be able to go after them in their private capacity. You see, there is, even though I'm a Chief Federal Postal Court judge dealing with language, okay, David's Way Miller's language technology, I also have the capacity to move within the 12 realms or around the 12 realms. It is actually my choice as to how I deal with these things. Just as you know about land law, and you know about maritime law, and also you know about the so-called spiritual laws. One of them being, of course, is that if you do harm to others, harm will be done to you. Sow and you shall reap, that sort of stuff. So, in preparation, psychologically, you need to be fully aware of the mechanisms that the individual psychopath and narcissists use on you because they're living with you in your family. Is identical to what they use. Understand them, and you begin to understand the lies that they perpetrate on a larger scale when they have learned to come together as liars, cheaters. As David said, David Way Miller, of course, unless they lie, they will lie together. What that means is that liars will always protect each other's lies in a group setting until you compromise it, and then they begin to cannibalize on themselves, i.e., no, it was him that said it. No, it was her. I didn't do it. It was not somebody else that did it. I wasn't even there. It was them. You understand what I'm saying? So, let me share something with you on a personal level, on an individual level, which all means corporate, by the way. Let me share something unique in my life that is applicable to your lives. Since 2008, I've been at this, okay? And in 2008, when I started all of these things, I attracted a lot of people, and still do. Nowadays it's in the millions, but those days it was in the thousands, and in the hundreds first, and then thousands. And within that group of hundreds, there will always be one or two that does 90% of all the damages. They will actually purposely work towards bringing you down and bringing the group down, because they get satisfaction in watching that, because they themselves can't do anything. So in the hundreds, there was one or two. In the thousands, there's about 12 or 13 of them. In the millions, I get better and better in educating myself on how to deal with them. Hence, towards the end of the month, Alex has put a program together to be able to deal with these people on an individual basis, and of course through the tricks and traps with the governments and the judiciary, as it were. The principle is always the same. The method of operation that they use is always identical. The xenophobe is petrified that they will get found out who and what they are. Yeah, that fear is always with them, because a liar is a liar. And you be led to believe by these very pernicious psychiatrists and etc., that they're really only suffering from a mental disorder. You see, it has been well known these people are actually fully conscious of what they are doing. They are fully conscious of what they are doing, and they know what they're doing. That is why a liar lies, because a liar knows the truth. That's why they lie. You understand? A liar lies because they know the truth. That is why they lie. That is why they cheat. That is why they print false notes, like the false promises the individuals give you as the narcs and psychopaths. You understand what I'm saying? So, on a unique level, when I met some of these, they take everything. They want everything because they have a sense of entitlement. They actually believe, because they cannot produce anything themselves, that all of these things are theirs, and they'll go working hard enough to do it, and they'll contaminate, and when they get caught out, they go for maximum destruction, which is what the Olympians have been trying to do with you folks, making you all bankrupt so they can stay afloat. You are actually being made bankrupt, the entire planet, so they can live off of you. There is no end to these empty creatures, empty vessels, as it were. There's no end to it. You can put the entire universe inside of them, they'll still be empty, because that's what they are. They are empty. Don't ever fall for thinking that they are actually victims. They are not. They are actually the abuser. And because the psychiatric industry and the counseling industry have been infiltrated by these freaks as well, they're programming people to look upon them as with sympathetic eyes, getting you to believe that they are a victim. They actually enjoy the process of watching you believe that they are victims. Did you know in Britain that the school teachers used to stop people fighting back at bullies? They used to say you should let them be, because it's okay for them to bully you because their life is so hard. It's okay if they punch and kick you, spit on you, terrorize you. It's okay, but you can't fight back. If you need our help, then come and get us. It doesn't matter if they hold you down and piss on you and so on and so forth. But come and get us. It doesn't matter if they threaten you and walk and you can't do anything. But you have to come and get us, and we'll sort it out. That's exactly what the police try to do with you. Ladies and gentlemen, the Canadians have understood the police force, the sheriffs, are their greatest enemy. They need to be put under arrest. They need to be audited, and they need to go to prison. Look, my little baby brother, he died at the hands of these narcissists and psychopaths. Yeah. Have no mistake, they will take your life, as they're trying to take your life now. The more inert you are, the more they will try to take it, and quicker. Just to give you an idea of how in-depth this really is, and how far-reaching consequences it has, how far-reaching consequence this has of neglect and being in denial, as I have. Believe me, I've been in denial. When my little baby brother died, I hired his son. Okay, we thought, let's show some sympathy towards it. He's lost his father. So we gave him a job, looked after him. Of course, I ignored all the childhood traits that he was showing. Antisocial behavior. Yeah, at a very young age. Violence, lies, sense of entitlement. And then he went around telling people he's the one who made me. Oh, hold on a minute. That's how far they go. They actually get other people to believe that they created all of this and you don't even know anything about it. And there is so many dumb people in this world, what they call flying monkeys, that they'll actually buy into it. You see, I even gave him like 33 or 33,000 pounds to start up a business. He was taking his flying monkeys to restaurants that don't even have bills on the menu because you're so rich. He's doing that on the back of my money. You give him enough money to buy a car, he goes and tells people, what a wonderful entrepreneur he is. Not knowing, nobody ever knows that he's actually doing work for me. But he's actually being looked after. Complete and utterly incompetent thing, whatever that was. Totally incompetent, but I turned a blind eye. Just as we are so easy to turn a blind eye with the sheriffs and the presidents and the banking industry and the bank managers and the police officers that are actually your number one enemy. They are actually your enemy. The Canadians have proven that. Just about every conflict is actually a conflict with the people and the government in the same country. Yeah. We're at civil war status. The Canadians are in civil war. With who? With a corporation, which they can shut down with a stroke of a pen. And I taught them how to do that. You see, my frame of mind has been changed by the victims that I have met. And the counselors. I don't mean, the counselors in psychology, the people that give counsel, wisdom, and so on and so forth. They made it very clear. Every time one of these things come into your life and you let them get away with it, they take that same hostility, that same wickedness to somebody else, and they do it with them as well. And that is what I found out, that they don't actually stop where you are. They actually have 5, 6 other people lined up and they move towards those people. So me doing what I'm doing is actually, sorry, let me just adjust myself, is actually the means by which you have to put a final stop to them. It comes under zero tolerance. The more tolerant you are of an abuser, the more they have an entitlement to abuse you. That includes individuals that are unique to your experiences, as well as the others that call themselves officers of the court, officers of law, when there has no law being established. They all need to be put under arrest. The various powers to be, who are known as the Titans, are doing their best to show the entire world what a comic show they've been running for so long. This is my website, and I created a page on hazardous and toxic people. Just on a psychological level, it is a page well worth reading, because I've put various videos on here that explains, without any biases from me or discriminations, as to what you are dealing with the individuals that are in your life, in your family, to the ones that actually come into your business and into your life, as well as the sheriff's offices, the courts, and so on and so forth. They're all one screwed up people that are waiting to go to prison. How can your own police officer pepper spray you? How can a man pepper spray a woman? with no armaments. I mean, if you men out there are so goddamn cowardly that you can't even protect your own women or your own babies, what the hell's the point of you? I've told you, you can use my face to say this man said that you have violated laws and therefore you're going to be arrested. And we're now going to call the coroner to put you under arrest and put you in prisoner. In prison. Look, I sometimes get emotional because you've got to understand that you people are screwed, man. And I want to speak in a professional way. I want to be able to speak to you in a courteous manner. But what I'm seeing around me are cowardly buffoons. Cowardly bloody people. Who are they? Are you... is it no wonder these things are happening to you? I actually saw on YouTube, not once or twice, a police officer pepper spraying a woman that has nothing to do except to say something. Are you... I was almost going to use the F-off word there, the F word. That man needed to be put under arrest there and there. So some of these videos, I've really enjoyed and I have benefited enormously. I have no, affiliations with them or anything. I found them as independent sources for you to enjoy. Now, on Thursday's training, I will be asking you folks, and I'll be providing you with the detail, go and find these people for me as service providers. And the Canadians are welcome to join that because you need to do that. If you ever think that these people are not going to pepper spray you again, you are foolishly mistaken. Yeah, you are foolishly mistaken. These individuals have, come into my life, as it were, and stolen, lied, cheated. And what I want you folks to do on Thursday, once I explain to you how these things work, I'm going to ask you to go and find them, and I'll give you, their addresses, as it were. Sorry, I almost got stuck with the words there. And that's part of the public-private partnership. You see, this particular one here, I'm not quite sure if you're able to see it properly, but let me see if I can blow up the screen a little bit. This particular one is called Andrew. He came to my training program pretending to be this and that and found out to be a psychopath. I need to go after him. Because some ladies have told me, you're going to have to stop this man, Mark. Yeah, the fact that they think that they can get away with it. No, these people are going to go to prison. And I'm going to give you their addresses so you can go knock on their door and find out if they still live there. Remember, narcissists and psychopaths, they move around a lot. They move around a lot. The government officials don't move around because they believe they are protected. No, all that's breaking down. I've already started breaking all that down. They have no immunity now. So this one particular one is called Andrew, and I'll be giving you an address to go and find him. He's in England somewhere, and see if he still lives there. Remember, you've got to do this politely because you don't know if he still lives there or not. It could be a complete stranger. Okay? That's what this is about. All narcissists and psychopaths are petrified. Petrified. And you're going to service process them. Yeah. So some of these videos give quite detailed information about them. Now, please do watch it. Understand what I'm talking about before you come on to the Thursday's program. I'll be asking you, when you come, have you watched this? Have you studied the website? If you haven't, I'm just going to cancel you out. I'm going to just press that button and you'll be removed from my meeting. Okay? You've got to understand that. I'm not interested in pacifists and people that want, something for nothing. I'm already given you so much. And if you haven't got the warmth or the time, then you don't have anything to offer. And I don't have anything to give, so just leave. It's that type of a conversation. Make sure you study them. Okay? This particular one, it talks about me, but I don't know who this is. This particular one, on a psychological level, this is why I've called out for biographers to come forward, because I'm about like 18 months behind my biography and I need help with it to complete it, This particular one is a jinx. He has a sense of entitlement. And, the level of things I did for this one, you guys will probably kick me in the backside and say, Mark, you're the dumb one, which I would agree. But this particular one, whatever he touches, he tries to destroy. I mean, quite literally, they call him a jinx. You know the modern day Aesop tales of Beavis and Butthead? He's both of these. Okay? They think they can get away with doing wrong things and then go in trying to steal David Wayne Miller's book when he's only a few days away, I think a few weeks away, beg your pardon, from passing away. I mean, zero tolerance is the only thing forward with these people. To tolerate wickedness is in itself the crime against what you do to yourself and other people. Like this Irish TV, when I was doing a seminar, they came in, had a little hidden camera, and tried to expose me as some sort of a guru gone mad or something. Yeah. What I'm saying to you is that whatever fits the general public's hatred of people or organizations is what they'll portray you as. It's called character assassination. This is Irish TV called RTE Primetime TV. They put me on Primetime TV in Ireland to try to discriminate what I do. And they had the audacity to even put me on and say, I've come to Ireland to teach people how the court systems are operating in this country. They even broadcast that. Yeah. So they are so pernicious. Look, on top of that, they actually said, we wrote to Mark, which they emailed me. And he said he wrote back to us in legalese. This is how little they think of you. I'm going after the producers, the license holder, the presenters, the whole goddamn lot of them. And I'm going to use you Irish people to go after them, because you need to go after your courts. You need to go after your Supreme Courts, your politicians who are actually traitors to you. You have it on evidence. They can't hide behind bureaucracies. So, this is the Telegraph advertising to the world or in Britain that I'm a postmaster and it's best for this man not to come into our court system. This is how David Wayne Miller put it to me, because I was puzzled as to why they would openly take out a whole page, front page in the Telegraph about me. Why would they do that? What's the point of that? That must have cost them millions. He said that's how they advertise to each other. And there's a magistrate, ex-magistrate that lives across the road to me. Normally he says hello, okay? But this time when he read it, he put his eyes down. He wasn't allowed to look at me. And I'm thinking, what the hell? Because he's not allowed to look at me. He's beneath me. Magistrates practice magic. And they know I'm factual. You see, all these people I need to go after. This is this guy called Russell J. Gould. He infiltrated and tried to destroy David Wayne Miller. He needs to be gone after. So the people in the US, if you know where he is, and they move around. These psychopath narcissists always move around. We're going to have a wonderful public-private partnership with this guy. He's really going to understand what law is. Yeah. And I'm only weeks away to months away from going after them in that way. And there is another one that also, there were several. One of them is called Leighton Ward, who the court, he was working for the court systems all the time. And David was paying him. And while David was in hospital and came out of hospital and he's only got a few weeks to live, they said, we're going to put this Leighton Ward in prison. I broke the code on that and I told David about it, what was happening, and he understood it. And he's disappeared. He's not in the penitentiaries or anything. It was just a game to demoralize David. And they played that type of games on me. They've actually played that type of games on me. It's a program that they use called disillusionment and demoralization. That's where they try to disillusion you and demoralize you. And that's what this man tried to do with David Wayne Millers and his technology. And we caught him cheating and stealing from his students, claiming to have Title IV flag when he has no Title IV flag. Now, this particular one, these two I know, victims, I would say, rather stupid victims of this one. This is and I'll show you a picture of him. He lives in Australia, and I'll give you an address after Thursday's training to go and find out if he still lives there. Okay, and I've got loads of students in Australia. This one comes to my training program and tried to character assassinate me every opportunity. Its name is, I've forgotten her name, but we'll come on to that later. But it's this one here. This one is what they call a, what's the triangle in narcissism? I've forgotten the name of it. But they have, covertness, viciousness, which means they're violent, and a complete and utter sense of entitlement. Yeah, they are usually extremely dangerous and usually end up in prison. This one, I don't know who he is, and I don't know who this one is. Or I've met him in Hawaii. He said, "Thank you very much. I really like your videos," he told me. But who these people are, most of them I don't even really understand. So this particular one lives in Australia. This is a psychopath and a narcissist. Violent, extremely covert, not so covert, because you're dealing with me. Yeah, you're dealing with me. So he's in Australia. We're going to service him. Purpose, to put him in prison. These people always have a line of victims behind them. Yeah, it's almost certain this man interfered with his dad's bicycle so he can have it crashed, so his dad can crash on it. It's almost certain. This is a vile and vicious character. We're going to have a wonderful public-private partnership. Oh, by the way, the Australian Secretary of State is fully aware of him already. Yeah. This is the BBC. This is BBC primetime TV. In primetime TV in this country, we call it from 6 p.m. to like 8 p.m. 6:30, I think it was, in primetime TV. They broadcasted me as a black villain, East London black villain. Yeah, tried to infiltrate one of my seminars. I'm going after their producers. I think there's two BBC generals at the moment. The show itself, the presenters, anybody that had their name on it. This is the period of zero tolerance. This is also the period of Corona. The glory, your life energies return back to you. And I'm going to use the people in England, not United Kingdom, not in Britain, but English men and women. And I'm going to teach them what an English men and women is for free this Thursday. Yeah, to service these people. When you knock at the door of a xenophobe, they will defecate themselves because their fear is so great. It's like imagine you out there being taken to a tall building and you've been put on the very edge, and just a slight 2 or 3 ounces of pressure on your shoulder is enough to cause you to plummet to your death. That's how they feel. That's what most these covert narcissists are xenophobes. They are petrified of getting caught. And the sensation that you would have of sitting on that edge, plummeting to your death, as it were, on top of a high rise, is what they feel of getting caught out, because their penalties are that great. These people quite literally take lives. Yeah, that's what the BBC was doing there in primetime TV. This particular one, he was in one of my training programs. I helped him. But of course, when you help them, these narcissists, this particular one has what they call egoism. He always falls in love with the narcissist and airs their voice because he has none of his own. Set people up for failure. And we're going to knock on his door. Yeah, we're going to knock on his door because he's done very bad things. Very bad things. Things that have zero tolerance. Yeah, egoism is a psychological condition that, as a psychologist, because I've studied psychology, by the way, means the study of the human spirit. Okay, that's what psychology means. Egoism is a very rare thing. We only know it in mythology and in tales and stuff. But what that is that they are so empty when the narcissist says something inside of them, it echoes. Yeah, in common terms, they call them flying monkeys, in colloquial terms. But egoism is what they are. So when the narcissist says something, they echo it. They echo it with a louder voice because they have no voice of themselves. Now, this particular one always goes around, and I'll give you his address. He lives in Dover, and goes around telling people he was a victim. And he came to me as a victim, as it were, that he was raped as a blah, blah, blah. All lies. Never worked in his life. Never done anything in his life. When his wife, he told his wife he's a manufacturer or a driver that tests high-performance cars. And that has his own manufacturing company. Never worked in his life. Never. Never had a job, has no qualifications. That's what we found out later. I was training some people in Germany on how the so-called common law systems works and the bureaucracy. He went in and told everybody, because he's German, that he set all this up and I essentially work for him. In other words, I'm the chauffeur. I mean, the damage this guy done is enormous. I laugh at it, because this is a comical idiot. It's actually a subspecies. But he thinks he can get away with it until you come knocking on his door. And then they realize what xenophobia really is when they begin to defecate. And that's what you Americans are going to do with you sheriffs and your presidents, because they're not immune. When they harm you, they're not immune. At the moment, they've just simply got you convinced they have the power to do it because they've done it. And I cracked the code on it and I shared it openly with you. Yeah, that's on YouTube. So what I'm saying to you is, when this wife, he got married under false premises, of course, when she found out he's a nobody and nothing, he completely terrorized her. Terrorized her. Day and night. Yeah. I was also training the Germans to be able to stop their Merkel government or their federal government, because Germany is federated, of course, like every country in the world, is that I was teaching them that how to stop the pensions being stolen by Israel as appropriations for war crimes. War crimes they never committed. I broke the code on it. And they brought in two individuals called Christoph, who also lives in Ireland and in Germany. and another guy who lives in Switzerland called Bernd. I'm going after them. So you students out there that know me from the training that you received from me, give me his details, please. Christoph's details. I know the one in Ireland. Give me the one in Germany, and I'm going to send the German people themselves to put these people under audit, to summons them, as well as Bernd, who lives in Switzerland. Now, I've trained quite a lot of yous in Germany, so please, make the effort. Make the effort. Find out where they are at the moment, because they move around a lot, because they often get caught and they move around. Provide me with that detail, because you benefited from me, and I need this from you. Okay? So, I want to make it very clear. You're going to have to do these things for your life as well. This particular one is just a narcissist that was controlling this one here. So this one here, okay, would say things and he would echo it. This particular one, what they do, this is a covert narcissist. They look for groups that are isolated, that are vulnerable, that are leaderless. You know, those communities that are healthy, that go off-grid, he looks for them. He goes in, pretends to be of great help, okay, but in reality he's stealing other people's technology like mine, and he pretends to go in and help them. And on the third or fourth visit, and that's when they start to poison and twist and turn. His name is Raven Todd something, Raven Todd. You got his name, look it up, okay? Listen, guys, if these people come your way, give them a psychopathy test or a narc test that has about 50, 60 questions in it, not 10, because they memorize them and decide what answers are the best answers you need to hear. So, make that effort. Give them that test if you don't believe me, okay? And you will quickly find out what you're dealing with. The reason why they're covert is because they're bloody good at it. And you've got to understand that. They are very good at being covert. So good that even in the tale, in the Gospels, as it were, Jesus got caught out with one of them. That's how good they are. I mean, if you think you are clever and you are, extremely clever, their covertness can overcome that. What they call a wolf in lamb's clothing. Okay? If you find him, find out where he is, let me know. Okay? Now, this is a particular no one, but he came for help to me. And he got himself, what they call these ankle bracelets. I was looking after him for about 3 years because I felt very sorry for him, and he had a baby or a child. So I helped him as much as I can. And when he got this bracelet, I told him how to take it off, how to send it back without going to prison. I give him all this aid, and as soon as he has an opportunity to betray me, he does. His name is Gunther Hollin, Holllein. He is essentially a nobody, will always be a victim, as it were, because they're full of betrayal. All these people needs to be audited, summoned, and put into prison. And I'm months away from doing that. And for you Americans and Canadians that realize what the hell's going on with all of these things, you need to do that to the policemen and women that sprayed you. How can, just think about it, yeah? Let's pretend it's a spray gun. You have something to say about the way that the de facto government conducts itself. And this policeman can come along and spray you. Yeah, look. Spray your wife, your children. That tells you you're dealing with Nazis. And you've got no choice but to put them under arrest, because they'll do it to your children, and they'll smash your door down and do it to your wife and your children in front of you and tell you, if you resist while we rape your wife and children, then we'll put you under arrest. I think I've made it very clear what you folks are up against. So you bloody well do your own work before you approach me on Thursday. Otherwise, I'll just click the button and you'll be off. For the Canadians, Americans that want to have closure with these things, you are welcome to contact me. Those people that are not going to do anything and they're just in it for themselves, F off. Yeah, it's time of zero tolerance. And if you're not going to do anything, don't even bother contacting me. That is that. Sorry about the strong words, but you subscribers out there, you know how the world works. And if I'm not direct, then I'm, going to be wishy-washy, as it were. Thank you very much for the 90,000, 91 or 92,000 subscribers on this channel. Thank you very much. Have no mistake, I'm very grateful. And please share this video and the training program that will be taking place on Thursday. Together, ladies and gentlemen, we can put them in prison because they're rapists. Rape simply means to take your innocence away and to do something without your permission. That's what rape is.